Hey y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm a bit late. Technical difficulties on the first day back. Isn't that something? Jesus, I'm so sorry. Uh I hope people are still coming in. I am, yeah. Being this late is there's no excuse except technical difficulties. What can I say? How's everybody? I hope you're doing well. This is Vivian, and today I am talking about. I have a subject that's very short. You don't have to be here long. It's two powerful acronyms that you should know to be a more effective listener. Now, this is something that I've learned from my mentors, from classes I've taken over the course of life. Actually, just being able to stop and listen, because everybody thinks that they listen, but if you listen to what I'm going to say today, you'll probably find out that a lot of times you're not really listening that well. So I go, and I apologize for the lateness of my start, and I'm gonna go in and just start with the program. So let me grab some my notes here. I want to make sure that I'm really excuse me. Yeah, that I have everything in order for you all so that I can give you all the nuggets. How about that? Okay, so again, my name is Vivian Everett. I am the Whisperer. You've probably seen me on some of my Facebook stories giving the whisper of the day. And that's something that came to me just, kind of like an overnight thing. You're dreaming about things and how you can be more effective in delivering messages to people. And that was one of the things that I dreamed about, is to deliver a message that can be helpful to others. So today's topic, again, is two powerful acronyms you can use for more effective listening. Now, many of us, myself included, have people we want to help with something, some or people we want to serve in some capacity. Now, what happens though is when we're so desperate to help, is that we sometimes fail to really listen. We want to provide the answer. We want to be the hero. And I know I always wanted to be the hero in the story. I wanted to be that person that came to the rescue. And sometimes in doing that, I was more the person who was talking versus the person who was listening. So, and they're very two powerful words that you've probably heard before that can help you be a more effective listener. Ask and wait. Now, in the Bible, now I don't know how many of you believe in the Bible or whatever, and I'm not trying to preach religion here, but that's just my belief. There's a Bible verse, Matthew 7 through 8, that says, in The Strangest Secret, also with Earl Nightingale, and in a book that I'm reading called U Squared by Dr. Price Pritchard, they all refer to asking as the first step to receiving what you want. So in the Bible, it says, ask and it shall be given you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened unto you. Now, in the dictionary, ask is defined as saying something to obtain an answer or request for someone to do something or give something. So, wait is defined as stay where you are until a particular time or until something else happens. So I know you're saying, well, Vivian, what does this have to do with effective listening, right? To be an effective listener, you have to find out what someone is really saying. Now, asking a question is the only way the answers are going to be given to you. If you don't seek out the answers, you will never open that door to understanding. See what I did there? Ask, seek, knock. There you go. So, what happens when we ask a question? Sometimes we don't wait on the answer, or we don't ask enough questions. We want to believe that the first answer someone gives to us is the truth. And most of the time, that's simply not the case. They may not even realize that the first answer they gave you is not the truth. But in the back of their mind, there is another response that they're wanting to give, but you haven't asked the right questions. But you as a listener have to be attuned to that person, and you have to keep digging because for example, I'm taking this course where um, they say that money is never the excuse. Money is never really the objection. The objection is something else, like they don't want to do it. They don't want to spend the money. They don't want to, or they are confused about how they can make that particular thing that you're giving them or offering them work. You have to get to that answer. Now, one of my mentors, Mr. Samuel Bean, gave us a lesson on listening. And I believe that sometimes we tend to wait for our turn to speak versus actually listening. Like somebody will be talking and in your head, okay, when they finish this sentence, I'm going to say this. And when they finish that sentence, I'm going to say that, right? Kind of like, I don't know how old some of you are, but I'm old enough to remember. It's making a comeback, but old enough to remember double dutch. Now, double dutch is a jump rope game where you have two ropes going at the same time and you have to wait for your entry. And so you're doing this and you're back and forth and you're back and forth, and all of a sudden you see your entry. Now, in our conversations, sometimes we ask a question, but we're not listening because we're just waiting for our next entry, our next response. And so if you jump in too soon in double dutch, you get tangled up and you can't go any further. It's the same with the conversation. If you go in too soon, the person will back off because they don't think you're actually listening. They don't think you're actually trying to help them because you're not listening to them and you're not asking the right questions. And when you do ask the right question, you're not waiting for the answer. Now, we don't wait, we don't hear what the other person is really trying to say. There was a former colleague of mine when I had my 9 to 5 that gave me an acronym because I was taught, I was in management, and one of my employees came to me with something. And so in my mind, they needed my help. So I'm just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And so this other manager said to me, well, Vivian, what was the problem? I said, I don't know. I really never really found out. They said, well, what did they say? And I told them, and they said, well, what did you say? And I kept going on and on. And she said, whoa, whoa. That's the problem. I said, what is the problem? You didn't wait. What do you mean I didn't wait? I waited for them to say something. Nope, you didn't wait for the right answer. And in this case, wait means, why am I talking? Why are you talking? Why are you saying anything when you've asked the question of that person and they haven't actually given you an answer, but you're talking? You know, think about that. Good morning, Ian. Good morning, Carlotta. So if you think about how we talk to people, how do you talk to people? When you talk to people and you're asking, how are you? Do you actually wait for the answer? Or is that just a phrase? Because a lot of times people go, hi, how are you? That's a phrase. And they never really wait for the answer. Actually, they'll keep walking before you even say, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm fine. So if you think about that, do you do that? Think about what you do. And then when you think somebody's not listening to you, think about how you ask questions and how much do you wait. When you find yourself talking too much, whisper this to yourself. Why am I talking? This is the time to listen. It's not the person who says the most that wins, but the person whose words are the most impactful, even if they say the least. So if you're talking, make sure that what you're saying is super impactful, and the person that you're speaking to gets the sense of, this person really cares about me. This person is really concerned about what I have to say, because they're not just, Mr. Bean says, be more interested than interesting. So even though you say you may agree with somebody, say, oh, well, I like this, this, and this. Well, great. You know what? I like that too. And blah, 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 blah. And then you're going on and on and on and on. Just, oh, I love that too. What else? Instead of telling them your whole life story behind one thing that they said, agree, but then ask them another question, so you're getting deeper into their psyche versus them hearing all about your adventures, right? So that's more interested than interesting. So waiting to talk and truly listening are two different things. When you ask a question, remind yourself to wait and really listen, because you're not going to help anyone if you don't really know what their problem is. Listening not only to the person you see in front of you, but to that quiet, still voice in your head that's telling you what you need to do. That, I believe, is the voice of God. God is telling you what you need to do. It's just we're not listening. I'm guilty of that too, because sometimes I hear that little voice and I go, no, that don't sound quite right. Turns out, when another scenario comes up, that little quiet voice that I heard in the back of my head telling me to do certain thing was absolutely correct, because had I done it, I would have had a different result. So it's not only listening to the people you are talking to, it's listening to yourself, and the conversations that you have with yourself are just as important as the conversations that you have with other people. Listening is not only applied to the people outside of yourself, but also inside of yourself. I talk to myself all the time. It used to be a long time ago, or maybe even today. Some people still might have the same opinion, but used to be, people would say that a person that talked to themselves was crazy. You are mentally ill. You need to be locked up, right? But that's not necessarily true, because if you ask yourself a question, are you not going to answer it? What's the point in asking a question if you don't wait for the answer, even to yourself? So ask and wait are those very, very important words or slash acronyms that you really need to incorporate into your conversations or into your life, so that your listening skills are so much better. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. Here's my challenge to you. When you're prospecting for your business, when you're trying to help a client, when you're talking to your child, when you're talking to someone who says they need to talk to you, or you're trying to acquire a customer, or you're talking to your spouse, or you're trying to solve a problem for yourself, remember, ask, then wait. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door will be opened unto you. But you have to ask yourself, why am I talking? If you're talking instead of listening, you will never hear. So when you find yourself talking too much, or just itching at your chance to jump in and talk, thereby not really listening, say to yourself, wait. Now, I believe by incorporating these two acronyms in your life and applying them correctly, your communication with people will improve and your effectiveness in helping those you care about will increase. So, I thank you very much for coming to this live. And I'm going to throw some questions out. I mean, throw some things out there just so I can get some interaction from you guys. So I want to throw a question up. Do you want to be a more effective listener? So throw it in the chat. Do you want to be a more effective listener? And how are you going to accomplish that? So throw in the chat. How are you going to become a more effective listener? And guys, please, if you are on this call, then make sure that you like and share this video where whatever platform you're listening to it on, because I'm on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitter. So just throw it out there, share it with other people. That way we can get more engagement and more people coming on also. So if you ask exactly, Carlotta and Ian, ask and wait. So you have to ask and wait in order to be a more effective listener. Another question for you. Who are you looking to help and or serve by listening, asking and waiting in your listening efforts? I'm just waiting. Be more interested than interesting. Susan says ask and wait, practice and listen. So Ian wants to serve his prospect. What else? Or who else is looking to, who are you looking to help or serve? Oh, sorry about that. Carlotta says, everyone I have an opportunity to chat with. Absolutely. All right. So I got one more question, I think. Nope, that was it. That was the last question. But I just want you to remember um, to ask and then wait for better listening. I hope you guys got something out of this, and I really, really appreciate those of you who came and supported me in this video. I know that I was extremely late, so the other people that I invited probably came and left because I wasn't on. But look, I'm going to be doing this at least once a week. It will not be on the same day a week, but I will announce it the day before. And so there's varying topics that I want to cover, but it won't be long because this video is 19 minutes in, and I'm ending it. But I really, really, Carlotta says also doctors' offices and staff, healthcare professionals. Well, they really need to be listened to, right? Because they're out there on the front lines dealing with these illnesses and helping people every single day. And some of them need some help. You know I have several family members who are in the healthcare industry who are traumatized, because there are people dying around them every day. So, sometimes all they need is somebody to listen. They don't really need you to do anything. Just listen. Okay. Thank you guys again for coming, and I appreciate you. And as always, no matter what platform I'm on, I wish you peace. I wish you love. And I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back next week. Have a good night. Bye bye.